Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the community safety presentation. My name is Jason, and I'll be your host for this session. First, we're going to turn it over to our Dean, Stephanie, to walk us through a brief presentation. We will then move into a question and answer with our panel after the presentation. Just a reminder to ask questions during the presentation, put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them during the question and answer period. Over to you, Stephanie.
Jason, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. On behalf of the faculty and staff in Human Services and Community Safety, I formally welcome you to our virtual open house. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today is all about providing you with some important information and the opportunity to ask some questions later in our session. Before we get started, I would just like to tell you a little bit more about myself. My name is Stephanie Demek, and I am the Dean of Human Services and Community Safety at Georgian and the campus principal at Aurelia. I joined the team at Georgian in 2017. Before that, I was a social worker and then a police officer. I started my career in the college system as a faculty and associate dean at Georgian College, became an associate dean at Humber prior to moving to Aurelia as the dean in 2017. I am very proud of the work that we do in human services and community safety, and I do know that you will enjoy learning from our team later in the session when you will be able to ask questions to some of our faculty and administrators. But if you're asking yourself, why should I choose human services and community safety at Georgian or Georgian at all, let me tell you a little bit about who we are. First of all, our grads get jobs. 90.3% of Georgian alumni are employed within 6 months of graduation. Our programs emphasize applied learning, and we leverage and use our 6,200 community partners that contribute to student learning. In Aurelia, we have anywhere from 300 to 800 students working with community partners. And whether students are learning in classrooms, in labs, or in the workforce, we focus on building the practical knowledge and skills and abilities that employers are searching for. Secondly, we teach our students to be innovators and leaders in their community and workplaces. Did you know that Georgian is Canada's first designated CHANGEMAKER college? We are one of 4 institutions in Canada and one of 36 worldwide with this designation. Becoming a changemaker, we encourage students to learn to use creativity, collaboration, and problem solving to respond to the issues and affect positive social change. As a result of this designation, our students can tap into the world's largest network of social entrepreneurs and changemakers. Finally, we offer a unique and positive experience in post-secondary education. We are focused on applied learning. Our faculty have extensive industry experience. We're friendly and supportive. We're always working toward creating an inclusive culture, and we're dedicated to your success. And as previously mentioned, we have extensive community partnerships that support our student learning. But beyond that, human service and community safety programs are located mainly at the Aurelia campus, but we also have a section of Police Foundation that runs out of our Owen Sound campus. All of our campuses provide a friendly and inclusive place and a level of care and support that reflects our programs and who we are as a staff and faculty team. That's why when you leave Georgian, you will have the skills you need and the mindset to succeed and the confidence to thrive. Now I would like to talk to you more specifically about each of our programs as we have found that this helps potential students better understand the difference between our programs, helping you to select the program that best supports your interests. Our pre-service fire training and education program is coordinated by Bethany Reedman. Our pre-service firefighter program meets the National Fire Prevention Association standards, NFPA 101 and 1072. Successful students may have the opportunities in the following areas: professional firefighting, volunteer fire service, fire prevention and public education, a private fire service, the Ministry of Natural Resources, potentially military firefighting, and private emergency response companies. Starting off our diplomas is Police Foundations, and Simon Bradford is our program coordinator. Graduates of this program can potentially work in law enforcement and Canadian Police Services on the public side, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Service, provincial police services, municipal and regional police organizations, private policing service, Canadian Forces, and various justice agencies. Our Community and Justice Service program is coordinated by Joshua Barath, and graduates of this program can potentially work with at-risk and offender populations, including youth, in federal, provincial correctional institutions, community residential facilities, and/or secure custody facilities. Also, potential opportunities include working in early intervention and rehab programs that could include school settings, community-based justice and advocacy agencies for offenders, and finally, potential work with individuals at risk and victims of crime. Protection, Security, and Investigations, coordinated by Mike Winnicott. Graduates of this program can potentially work in the safety and security industry, including, but not limited to, government organizations, corporate and industrial agencies, banking and insurance, the armed forces, police services, hotels, casinos, and retail establishments. Potential work may also include surveillance, investigation, and enforcement in both public and private settings. Finally, our degree, our Honors Bachelor of Police Studies, which is coordinated by Melanie Marchand. Graduates of this program can potentially find work in justice-related careers with the Ontario Provincial Police as an example, municipal law enforcement services, out-of-province police services, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Canadian Armed Forces, bylaw enforcement, and Canada Border Services. Additionally, potential work could include surveillance, investigation, enforcement in both public and private settings. Where can you go from here? If you start with us at Georgian, you can potentially finish any one of those programs and advance your studies by applying to our Addictions Treatment and Prevention program. Additionally, if you are a graduate of Police Foundations or Protection, Security, and Investigations, you can consider pathwaying and getting advanced standing into our Police Studies degree. And you can get more information if you are interested by asking some questions to our coordinators. Finally, I will be joined to answer any of your questions by my colleagues, Melanie Marchand, who again is the coordinator of Honors Bachelors of Police Studies, Simon Bradford, who coordinates Police Foundations, Joshua Barath, who coordinates Community and Justice Services, my Associate Dean, Megan Fenton, and our Placement Manager, Allison Punnett. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon, and all the best with your search. Jason, over to you.
Thanks, Stephanie, for sharing that wonderful information. We're now going to move into our question and answer session. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat window. We'll get them answered for you. So we had a question already, and I'm going to direct this one to Josh. How, if I was looking to become a youth probation officer, what would be the best route I could take?
Thanks, Jason. Just to check, everybody can hear me okay? We're good? Awesome, perfect. So it's a great question in terms of becoming a youth probation officer. So probation and parole is the one area within corrections that does require a degree of some capacity. Now, many of our students who start out in the Community and Justice Services program do so because they have an opportunity to do field placement, and it gives them the experience of participating in places such as probation or probation and parole. And then they take that, as is the case with some of our recent graduates, and they carry on in an actual degree program. Some of those are, in fact, the degrees that we have here at Georgian College. So we've had students who've gone on to the Police Studies degree program, and other students have gone on to other institutions. And then what they do is they take the combination of their education from the Community and Justice Services program, plus their field placement experience, as well as their degree, and apply it into working in the industry of probation and parole.
Perfect. Thank you for the answer, Josh. Next question is for Melanie. We have a student here that wants to apply for the Honors Bachelor of Police Studies, but they haven't taken university courses. Are there options to still get into that course? Oh, looks like Melanie just got back, so I will repeat that. If Melanie's not able to answer that question, I'll get Simon too. I want to apply to the Honors Bachelor of Police Studies, but I haven't taken the university courses. Are there options I can still do to get into this course?
Sure, I can help with that. Sorry about that. Yes, so one of the things that you can do, we do have the bridge program. So you can do your 2 years police foundations program and then come into the degree program into third year. Granted that you have a 70 average and that you have passed all of the courses in the diploma program. So there is always that route that is a great route for students, a great option.
Perfect, thank you. Next question I'm going to send over to Megan. How many applicants apply for the FIRE program, and is there any supplemental applications required for it?
Thanks, Jason. So looking at our numbers for fall 2020, we had approximately 400 applications come in for our pre-service FIRE program, and we have 72 students who typically start in the fall. We do 2 cohorts in the fall. When we're looking at the admissions criteria for that particular program, so for students that are interested in applying coming in for fall of 2021, we are asking students to have a grade 12 English, grade 12 math, and 11 or 12 biology or chemistry. We also ask students to really consider their fitness level and ensure that as they're coming into the program, they're prepared to take on the fitness requirements. And there's some additional information on our website, and that will be updated soon as well, to give a bit more parameters to our students around what would be a good level of fitness for them to enter the program in, because it is a requirement and something the students need to engage in as soon as they start in that program.
So great segue, Megan. Simon, can I take it over to you and ask you the question about from the police foundations and the criminal justice in the protection security? What kind of fitness level should a student have coming into the program, and what would the expectations be for those students?
Great question. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. From a fitness point of view, we have 4 fitness courses, 1 per semester currently, and for a student, we always give them advice. Maybe don't show up having never been to a gym or having never run or done a push-up, and just be prepared to get involved in physical fitness. And that's basically the answer. Just if you've been on sports teams or things like that, great. If you haven't, the summer before you start, it would be a good idea to start working out.
And just a quick follow-up question on that. I know you said about running. Do you recommend students run inside on a treadmill or outside in the environment?
Another good question. I think either or is fine. Outside would probably be more preferable because that's where most of the testing is going to take place, would be outside.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this one I think we'll throw over to, actually we're gonna stay with you, Simon. What would be the program for criminology? What would a day be like as a student for that program, and are there placements for field learning?
Well, we just have a course of criminology and looking at various theories and practices dealing with criminal elements. And actually, Melanie teaches that course. She might be able to jump in after me. But yeah, we do have a course, and it's also a general education option as well. Mel, could you talk maybe to a little more detail on criminology?
Sure. So criminology, it always sounds really exciting, which it is, but a lot of it is based on theory. So what we look at is historically where people have come from from a criminological background, and then we look at things such as biological factors, psychological, social factors in terms of why people commit crime, and then we also look at why people don't commit crime. But as Simon mentioned, we only have courses in criminology. It's not a criminology degree. So it is a policing degree or a policing diploma. We also have security and protection as well as criminal justice, which they also have. I believe you can take a gen ed in criminology. And again, it's the theories as to why you would commit crime or not commit crime.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm going to stay with you, Melanie, on a follow-up question. Sure. The other side we always get asked is about forensics. I want to do forensics. What would be the best path for a student to take?
Well, if somebody says that they want to do forensic science, really the word forensics just means as applied to law. So if you want to do forensic science, you need to look at science. If you're looking at, let's say you want at some point to be a scenes of crime officer, then you'll be taking the route of one of our diplomas or degrees here at Georgian. And so then you would work on the job for several years, and then you can go to OPC and you could do a scenes of crime officer course and then get in that way. There's also the civilian route of getting into forensics in that way. We also offer courses in forensic science, but not a program as a whole. So if a student is looking for a forensic science degree or the practical work in forensic science, possibly they're looking more at a science route. But we do offer forensic science courses as related to law.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I am going to take this question to Megan. What is unique about Georgian's pre-service firefighter program?
Thanks, Jason. So we have a few things that are very unique about our pre-service fire program. The first is that we do offer Class A live fire training. And as part of our program, we do most of our training actually outside of our own, in our own emergency services training facility. So it is a fire hall that is located just outside of the Barrie campus, where most of our students complete their practical training. We also have an auto extrication program that does exceed the requirements of the NFPA 1001 certification. So it provides our students with an opportunity to get a more deeper kind of introduction to auto extrication and actually practice those practical skills. We also have a technical rescue program that includes a variety of different types of specialized rescue. So it does allow students to learn about trench rescue, confined space. We do an introduction to ice water rescue as well as rope rescue as part of that course. We also are we do have partnerships with the City of Barrie Fire Service, so we are able to utilize their smokehouse facility in Barrie. So we also are able to provide students with the opportunity to actually engage in experience that is at a training facility right close to the campus.
Perfect. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Next question is for Josh. What career opportunities do I have after graduating from the Community Justice Service program?
That's a great question, Jason. There are actually many different career opportunities that are available for students in relation to the Community Justice Services program. What we do is we essentially break it down into, three main streams or three main ideas. When people think about community justice and services, they typically go to institutional corrections. So there is the opportunity to work at federal and provincial correctional institutions, both adult and male institutions alike. We also break it down in relation to the ideas of what is typically referred to as traditional community corrections. So that's things like probation, parole, that's halfway houses, that's bail supervision. Those are the various things that when you think about community corrections, you typically go to. So we have individuals who can and have done placements, but also get jobs working in community institution-based programs. So they're monitoring offenders who are out on parole, who are, serving in halfway houses for reintegration processes. And then we also look at the ideas of our community justice alternatives. So that's a broad collection of support-based programs for those who are at-risk offenders, diversion-based program offenders, and then those who are serving their time in some sort of a community-based setting and programming. So we have students who have graduated and gone on to work for organizations like a John Howard or an Elizabeth Fry Society or a Salvation Army bail court, or looking at things like St. Leonard's Community Services. So there's many non-government organizations and what we refer to as transfer payment agencies that support clients for things like mental health and addictions and court diversion programs. So there's actually a very broad spectrum of job opportunities that students could get into once they graduate from the program. And the nice thing about the program is we do have a placement where they get to test the water with those options and see what it might look like working in those industries.
And just a quick follow-up to Josh, to a different side question is, what's the fitness level component for your program, the CGSR program?
So similar to the other community safety programs, we do have fitness. There are three fitness courses that we have. So there's a fitness 1 and a fitness 2, which is a combination of overall healthy wellness and fitness and lifestyle. And then our third fitness course that we have actually prepares students to be able to participate in the provincial fitness testing. So if students wanted to work for provincial corrections, they would have to complete what is called the FitCode test. And that particular course actually walks them through the specifics of how to prepare for that test and actually how to succeed at that test. There are other tests from different provinces like COPAT, etc. But there is that piece that is associated with the fitness at the provincial level. But overall, there's 3 fitness courses. Generally speaking, if you are, generally fit, you've been active or engaged in sports and activities, that'll be a good start in relation to the ideas of being prepared for fitness 1 and 2. And those really prepare you for fitness 3 when we get into the actual fitness tests for the job itself.
Perfect. Thank you. So this is my favorite question that I get asked all the time, and I'm going to give this one to Mel this time. What is the difference between police foundations and police studies?
That's a great question. First, the diploma is a 2-year diploma, and students, again, they would be on campus or virtually for 2 years. The degree is 4 years in length, and it is a degree. So the difference would be diploma versus degree. In terms of the differences coming into the program, you're looking at U or M level courses to get into the degree. So in order to be admitted into the degree, you need 6 U or M level courses, an average of 65%. And the average has to also be 65% in English. Now, I'm not 100% certain about the diploma requirements, but I know that there are different requirements coming into both programs. And once in the program, the degree is very academically focused, as the diploma is as well. But you're also looking at 4 years of degree level courses, a lot of theory, but also some practical experience, much like the diploma. So there is significant differences when you look at some courses, but at the same time, the focus, the end goal is very much similar. Again, one is a 4-year degree and the other is a diploma. So I don't know if Simon, if you want to speak a bit about the requirements getting into the diploma program. And we also, just while I have the mic here, I know I mentioned a few minutes ago that you can bridge in to the degree. So you can come into the degree in 3rd year. So if you don't have the requirements to get into the degree straight away from high school, you then have the opportunity to come into the degree in 3rd year. Again, granted that you've completed your diploma and that you have over 70 average. And that's a route that many students do take. When it comes to being hired in policing, we definitely are seeing a very high success rate with the degree students, and we're seeing a lot of students from the diploma wanting their degree after their 2 years. So there's opportunities everywhere in these programs for students that want to get into the policing field.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to give the next question to Simon. I know that the Aurelia campus is located next to OPP headquarters. What kind of opportunities do students get through volunteer opportunities?
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, there are lots of opportunities to volunteer with the OPP. Sometimes we team up with some projects with the OPP. Sometimes we have things like the True Team or crowd control scenarios where our students go over and act as the bad guys and things like that. There's also they can act as people being tested for officers learning new skills, like being a breathalyzer technician and things like that. We're kind of the first stop for the OPP when they're looking for volunteers. and they come to us, and we really try and make that happen for our students because it's very beneficial.
Perfect. Thanks, Simon. I'm going to throw the next question over to Josh. I'm not sure I want to be a police officer. I'm not sure I want to do corrections. I'm not sure if I want to do protection security. What would be the right fit? And is there like a business program? Is there a first year common year through that program? And could I do like my first year of police foundations and then move over to the criminal justice? Is that an option?
Yeah, so the way that the programs are currently structured is that there is a common first year amongst the programs. So when students come into the program, even though they may enter in as a police foundation student or a protection security investigation student or a community justice service student, their first semester is common courses where they learn things such as introduction to security skills, interviewing and documentation, diversity awareness. Their second semester is very similar in so much that they have a common courses as well. But what makes it a little bit different in the second semester is that's where you begin to look specifically at either policing, corrections and community justice, or private security and private investigations. So if we have a student who comes in and they've completed their first semester and they decide, you know what, police foundations really isn't what I want to do. I think I'm really interested on the security side. They can transfer over to the PSI program, and those credits still come along with them. The nice thing about the course and the program is that there are also some common courses in the second year of the program. So students could, again, finish the whole first year of the program and then switch from first year to second year. Alternatively, we actually have had students who have come back. So they've graduated from the Police Foundations program and they said, I really want to do some of the community justice services stuff as well. And those credits actually get counted towards their additional diploma. So it may be that, you know, the first 2 years they do a Police Foundation diploma, and then when they come back in advanced standing into the Community Justice Services program, and they get credit towards that. So now they've essentially completed 2 diplomas in 3 years. And they've increased the amount of learning that they've had. So we do have a lot of opportunities for students to figure out what they want to do in their first semester, and then they can switch from program to program, or as I said, they can actually finish one program and then come back and apply those credits to another diploma program and then do both of them as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Josh. Next question is going to be for Mel. I know that OPP in York Region and other police services have auxiliary officers. Is there any opportunity for Georgian students to get into those the auxiliary programs? Does Georgian help with that? Can you just explain a little bit if Georgian has any connection with that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a wonderful partnership with the OPP and York, as well as other services, not just in the local area, but across the province. Specifically, when we look at OPP, we were the first, and to my knowledge at this point, the only college that has an agreement with the OPP where the OPP come to campus, as well as York. They come to campus and they select from a pool of only the degree students. And this is for auxiliary. So a typical auxiliary officer or somebody who wants to get into auxiliary would go and apply at a police service. Well, when it comes to our program, the OPP and York come directly to campus and they select from a pool of just our students. And then they conduct the testing and all the requirements that are still necessary to meet the standard, but they only select from our students. And then throughout the duration of the program, our students are able to work as auxiliary officers. Again, this is a volunteer position, and it's a very valuable position. Students get to go to headquarters and as well as York, and they get to do scenario training. They get to go out to their home detachments and do all of the duties that a regular auxiliary officer would do, but they get to count this towards their co-op hours. And they also get to make great connections, networking throughout, and they also get to see whether or not that policing is really for them. There's nothing better than being, thrown into the world of policing from a volunteer capacity and for 4 years or 3 years, depending on when the student applies, and then they actually get to see if this is something for them that they would enjoy. So Georgian offers those opportunities with our great partnerships. And again, I'm under the understanding that we're the only college that has those specific memorandums of agreement with the different services. So we're very fortunate, and we've been doing this since about 2007. So that's it's a great long partnership with the OPP and with York.
Perfect. Thank you for that one, Melanie. I'm going to give this one to Simon. Will I be able to become a private investigator with the program Protection, Security, and Investigations?
You will be able to apply to be a private investigator to get your license through the ministry. And to get your security license, we teach the academic side of Introduction to Security Skills. And also we have a course called Introduction to Private Investigator. So once you finish those courses, you can then apply to get your license. And you will, once you've successfully completed the examination process, then you'll have your license as a private investigator or as a security guard.
Just to follow up to that question, Simon, can students come out with any kind of accreditations after taking some of the courses with Georgian? So like a security guard license, stuff like that? Yes, they would get that security guard license. We also, the private investigator license, they have the option. Our emergency management course, they get some credentials through Emergency Management Ontario. And we have other options that pop up along the way. But those are pretty standard credentials that we assist them in getting throughout the program. Perfect, thank you. I'm going to throw the last question to Megan. Megan, can you speak to the FIRE program and some of the opportunities the students will get through that program?
Absolutely, thanks, Jason. So as I mentioned previously, in our pre-service fire program, our students do complete most of their training at our fire hall, our emergency services training center. And that provides them with opportunity to practically demonstrate all the skills that would be required for them to complete the NFPA 1001 testing. They also, at the end of the program, will be able to do the 1072 testing. And then for students coming in this fall, we also have built in 1031 and 1035 as part of the program. So the students will have an opportunity to come out with those qualifications if they pass the OFM-EM testing at the end of their program. We also connect with a lot of other departments and work closely with the City of Barrie for volunteer opportunities should they become available. So we often have other fire services reaching out and asking for our students to support those types of activities, and we're able to connect those students where those opportunities are available. And then, as I mentioned previous, there's a significant amount of practical experience that happens outside of the campus through City of Barrie Smokehouse, our auto extrication program, as well as actually students participating in a live fire activity, either at Ontario Fire College or an alternative facility at the end of the program.
Perfect, thank you. So that brings a conclusion to this panel and to the day actually as well. So I'd just like to give our panel a big thank you for joining us. I hope we answered a lot of your questions. Don't forget to visit our application hub for help with applying, and we're also covering the costs today as well. Many of our community safety programs will be hosting post-event information sessions in the coming weeks. We encourage you to attend. Details on all our post-event info sessions will be sent to you via email. Thank you everyone for joining us for our virtual open house. We hope you enjoyed the Georgian experience. If you have more questions after open house, there are other ways to connect with us. You can take part in another virtual recruitment event. We have 4 coming up in the next few weeks. Our hour-long Get to Know Georgian events take place November 19th, the 24th, as well as December 3rd and 8th. Watch a recording of this live session and others you're interested in. We'll send you an email with links when they're ready. Sign up for our brief webinars being led by faculty of our programs you're interested in. Again, we'll send you an email with the times and the links. When you're ready to apply, set up a 30-minute phone appointment with one of our recruitment specialists. You can find our contact information on our website by clicking on the Connect with a Recruiter button in the top right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone.